Now we start repairing, replacing the real wheel model and the real bracket shock absorber core. After we find the tool, we first remove the decorative cover on both sides. Now we also unplug the motor wire and loosen the brake wire nut on this side. After charging, use a hot air gun to heat the bracket screws that fix the fenders on both sides. There is a nut in these screws. We use the opposite open-end wrench and tool to clamp it and then loosen it. This is the nut that fixes the fender wire. We first loosen the nut and screw it to this side. Heat this side with the same hot air gun and remove it with the tool. Now our rear fender has been removed. Now we continue to heat the motor nut. After heating, we also using an 18-inch wrench to loosen it. After loosening it, use a flat bladed knife to pry the hook here. Similarly, loosen the drum brake fixing screws so that the motor can be removed. We also use the opposite wrench to remove the 6 black screws on the model to remove the tire. After removing the 6 screws, turn it over. Hold it with your hand and use our rubber hammer to tap the side gently. Then we can remove the model and tire. If you want to change the tire, you can remove these 6 screws and separate the wire hub. Now we install the tire and then install these 6 eyes and make sure to align them. First, we screw the screws diagonally into the fixed position and then screw the screws on the opposite side. After we change the tire, we put it aside first. Now we start to change the shock absorber core. After changing the shock absorber core, we need to use a hot air gun to heat the nut first, and we also use a hot air gun to heat it here. We also use a scissor to pry it first. If it can be pried, we need to use a hammer to gently tap the four corners. The side that is easier to tap should be tapped first. The side that is not easy to tap can also be removed. Now we start to remove the shock absorber cord. There are 4 screws on each side. We remove them first and remove the shock absorber cover. Here we only remove the shock absorber cover. Now our shock absorber cord is too loose inside, so it will loosen later. We removed the older shock absorber cord and installed the new shock absorber cord. Install it from the side where it was removed. After installing it, we use this large aluminum walnut to avoid damaging the thread. We use a hammer to gently tap it on the top. After knocking it flat, the width of the two sides is inconsistent. We use a rubber hammer to knock it slowly until the two sides are consistent. Now it is not shaking. Okay, let's install the cover of the shock absorber coil first and then tighten it. We need to see if the gap is installed in place. If it is not installed in place, we can knock it with a hammer and tighten the screw again. If it is installed in place, we don't need to knock it. The same operation is done here. After tightening both sides, we start to install the iron insert. If it can't go in, we need to knock it with a bell. After knocking, first apply blue glue on the knot hips on both sides. Tighten it with tools first, and then we start to install the motor. The motor also has a gap. The gap facing down should face down, not up like this. Install it downward. The hook on this side must be installed first. When installing the first one, face the hook head towards us like this. After installing it, don't install this side first. Adjust this position first, and adjust it like this before we can install it. We can take it out with both hands to install the hooks on both sides. The hook with the hook also hooks this eye forward. The eye on this side is also hooked in the same way. Now we have the nuts on both sides, one on each side. When putting on the nut, we also need to apply glue. This kind of blue glue. After applying the blue glue, we tighten it and then clamp it with the tools to tighten it. After tightening it, we first plug in the model. The front and the rear models are the same. The eyes must be aligned. The three big eyes cannot be aligned. If they are aligned, the handle inside will be damaged. Here is the same brake line. Fix it with a nut first. Twist it lengthwise, and the steel wire is inserted here. Finally, let's talk about adjusting the brake. We can put it here first and ignore it. Let's tighten the fixed screws of this brake disc first. After tightening it, we need to install the fender. The fender also needs to be glued. Here we apply our 5042 glue. After applying the glue, we put it in first. There is a longer screw here. It is installed in the front. We need to add the nut line inside. We need to add the wire barcode and the anti-loosening nut to fix the wire barcode of the tail light line. Their longer position. After we tighten it, add the wire barcode and nut. After the nut is screwed on twice, we use the tool to tighten the nut. After we tighten the wire barcode with the nut, we start to put on the decorative covers on both sides. First, put on the decorative cover on this side. The brake line should be inserted from this card, and then the top card is released. After the wire is clamped together, put it in with our screws and tighten it. It is the same here. Let's clamp the model first and put on the nut. After we put on the nut, you can change the rear wheel. Remove the rear wheel model and change the rear wheel. The rear tire and the shock absorber core have been filled.